Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 21st. It is 6:14 right now. We got market opening up in about 16 minutes. So I'm on a little early today. I just wanted to get everything sorted out because I feel like we've been running kind of like very last minute, uh, close to market open, of course. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to make sure everything here is sorted out. Man, where's my thing at? It says I'm logged in somewhere. Okay, okay, I see. Okay, I mean that's fine. I'll leave myself logged in over here since this is where my trades are taken. Drag this back over here. But all right, let me just finish sorting this stuff out real quick. So I think what I'm gonna do, or what I've been doing now is because the thing is I don't turn off my computer ever. And I think what I'm gonna do now, because like there's so many connection issues and there's just so many issues with the internet and running trading because I have so many windows open. Um, what I'm going to do moving forward is I'm going to reset my computer pretty much every day, and I just have to reload everything. So it looks like everything here is loaded up. I have my pretty much everything here, so I think we're good to go. But all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 21st. It is 6:15 right now. We got market opening up in about 15 minutes. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far. So let's see who's here. Here so far, we have Lila. Good morning, Lila. Morning, Ryan. Morning, Ben. Morning, Maria. Morning, Chris. Morning, everybody. Let's see who's over here. Looks like we're good with this loaded up too. So you guys can see my trades here on the list, guys. Typically, we look for the 6 o'clock entry, but we actually didn't have one today. So the first one up is going to be at 6:29. This shows you that the algo is learning with the market, right? Because if you look at the trades from yesterday and from the day before, some of the trades start to fall off because they're not high probability anymore, right? So that's the thing about this is if you look at the list of trades here, like let's go back to like where it was, I mean, I guess like on the ninth, right? So on the ninth over here at 6 o'clock, we actually only had a few entries that were available, right? We had entries at 6 o'clock, 6:01, and that was about it. You compare the entries to today, we actually have a pretty good amount. We have one at 6:29, 35, 36, 39, 46, 47, 48, 53, etc. This shows you that, as time progresses, the algo is going to adapt with the market. Market's not always going to be the same, right? It's always changing. So it's changing, by the month, by the week, by the day sometimes. And it's important that, well, if you guys are using the algo to stay up to date, right? So that you guys aren't stuck taking old trades that are no longer high probability. So, just going back, I just want to show you guys an example here. It's pretty incredible how accurate and how smart the algo is with identifying entries here. Like for example, the 7 o'clock entries, right? This is from October 9th, 7:16, 21, 51, right? There was only like basically four or three different times here where like entries came up. If you look over here now, we have 7:09, 21. So 7:21 has still been active since, the beginning of October. It had a 61% probability of it winning. The probability over here kind of adapted with it a little bit. It's actually a little higher. It's at 68 now. So on October 9th, it was a little bit lower, and now it's higher. The trades over here at 7:51, I think these were like some of the initial trades we started taking. This had like a 66% probability. You look over here, it's actually a little lower. So you can see that it adapts with a month's time. So yeah, if you guys ever want to go back and see like, what the algo was identifying earlier in the month, you can always pull back over here under the algo chat. If you guys aren't part of the premium, you guys don't have access to this, but pretty much every night I post up all of my trades. So the night prior over here, you can see I posted up all of my entries about 9 p.m. last night. So I already knew what I was going to take today. So once the market opens up, I'm not really stressed out, right? I'm not analyzing anything. I already know what time I'm looking to focus on. I'm looking what entry, which direction, what the probabilities are. And this is like the beauty of having the algo, right? Because typically persons, and I'm sure you guys have like gone through this, right? You're watching the charts, you're looking at price action, you're looking at technical analysis, and then you're stressed out because the market's moving so fast. And in a lot of instances, you miss the trade because it happens and you're not paying attention. The good thing with the algo here is that we know exactly what time, right? So I'm kind of just sitting back and hanging back until like basically 6:29. I'm not going to take this trade because it's right at open. I know I have target entry here because it is a good entry, but it is right at market open, so I'm not going to take it. I'm going to follow it because I'm really curious to see how it plays out. But we'll kind of see where it's at. So this is basically showing that the breakout on open has been pretty accurate lately because it's on the list, right? It's on the list of high probable entries. So the first actual entry is probably going to be at 6:35. So 6:29 here, I'll just put the statistics on the chart so that we can kind of like pay attention to it and follow it and see like if it comes up. But anyways, this is going to be against momentum, so it's going to be a reversal trade. The report here is updating, and we'll go over like the details of like what to expect at 6:29. For those of you who are looking to get it. Zach's asking, how do I get the Discord trading view? Did you email the information, Zach? There was like a follow-up email after you signed up to email your information. If you don't have it yet, just you can message me on Discord. Like right now if you want, because market's not open yet. So if you message me on Discord, I can with your information, just send me your Discord username and your trading view username, and I can enable your access. Yeah, we got like 10 minutes till market open. So if, I know you're on the YouTube. I know you want to get on the Zoom live stream. If you guys are on the YouTube, it's delayed by about a little over a minute. So if you guys want to have the real-time stream, you can go to the website. The website is CodyKaiTrades.com. If you're on the YouTube, just scroll down to the description and click on live trading room right here. This will give you access to the real-time Zoom, so there's no delay. Yeah, Zach, just message me on Discord your username, and I can get you sorted out right now. Or let me see if I can even find you on Discord. I'm sure you're in the group already, right? Or maybe not. Yeah, I can't find you on here. So just message me, either email me your username for Discord and for you for TradingView. Um, it's Sean at CodyKaiTrades.com or info at CodyKai Capital, whichever one you want to email. You should have gotten a follow-up email after signing up with directions, but you can send it over to me right now if you like. I got time. My first entry isn't until 6:29. Again, this is another like benefit to using the algo is that you don't really have to be on your toes, right? You're just waiting for your entry to come up. And the entry is not coming up anytime soon. We got about 8 minutes till this entry. So if you guys want to take this entry here at 6:29, I'll mark it up for you guys. Again, like I said, I'm not going to take it myself because it's right at market open. Let's take a look at the calendar for today. There's not really too much going on today. I mean, we're still in the government shutdown, so there's no high impact news events really coming out. Market's kind of smooth right now. I don't know for how long. Trump is bound to say something or announce something that's going to affect the market. It happens pretty much every week. So just, be aware that there may be some randomness at any given time, but there's nothing scheduled for today. So yeah, with that said, if you guys are part of the premium, again, just go over here to the premium channel. The live Zoom links are going to be posted right here. I opened a chat here. So Elad asked about opening a chat here for the premium members. If you guys want to chat amongst each other, feel free. It is going to be right here under the premium um, channel. And big congrats to Elad here. Elad, he passed all of his accounts yesterday. So huge, huge congrats to Elad. He joined this group not that long ago, maybe a couple months ago. He started his evals, he followed directions, and he's now funded across multiple accounts. So, that's a huge accomplishment for Elad because he's come from a different a different trading group and trading background where it was all about gambling and stuff, and now he's found consistency and it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, a lot here said took him 2 weeks to pass. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for you a lot because I remember when we first met, you were pretty excited to trade with me, and you pretty much made it happen within a couple weeks. It's pretty incredible. I mean, especially because we have the algo here, it's kind of hard to screw it up, but I'm glad to see that you started off with me and you started off to a good start. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this is gonna lead you with this plus with the hedge fund. I mean, it's some pretty exciting stuff to come. to come, guys, for the rest of this year and for next year. It's yeah, a lot of big things coming. Yeah, a lot that I watched and learned for a few weeks, and then when he finally jumped in, he started to really, really excel immediately. Let's see, Barack's here right now. Okay, guys. We got market opening in about 6 minutes or 5 minutes, actually. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Market's gonna open up shortly. Like I said, we have an entry coming up right here at 6:29. It's not one that I'm looking to take. It is one of my target entries, but I'm not taking it because it's right at market open. Let's take a look at the overall market real quick. All right, so let's take a look at the overall trend. Looking over here on the 1 minute, you can see prices below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling to the downside. Looking over here on the 5 minute, prices in between the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are going sideways. And 15-minute here price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green and the pivots are angling up. So with that being said, the lower time frames here are a bit mixed. So the 15-minute is bullish, 5 minute is neutral, and the 1 minute here is bearish. Looking over here on the higher time frames, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, you can see that price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green and the pivots are angling up. That indicates that we're in a bullish trend. So with that being said, lower time frames are a little bit mixed, more so on the bullish neutral side, and the higher time frames here are bullish. So with that being the case, if you're trading technical analysis or price action, you're probably going to be looking for buys here, of course, right? Now looking over here at the overall market structure, so 1 minute's currently bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 15 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 1 hour's bullish, 4 hours bullish. With that being the case, you can see over here that you might be looking for buys across the board if you guys are looking for if you guys are using technical analysis or price action. For me personally, I'm not really looking any at the charts, for any of that stuff really, because we're trading based off the quantitative data, right? So I don't really care which direction price is going with regard to price action or technical analysis. I'm going to be following based on whatever my statistics here give me. So, I mean, you could use that to your advantage if you guys want to, but I'm going to be basing most of my trades or pretty much all my trades off the statistics here. So we'll follow and we'll see, but I just wanted to give you guys a good understanding of like where the market is looking with regard to the technicals. All right, so with that being the case, we got market opening up shortly, guys. Hey, Sam, morning. We got market opening up shortly. Zach, I haven't gotten any message from you or email, so if you want to send that over again, feel free. Market's gonna open up shortly, so as market opens up, I'm gonna be a bit tied up with the market here looking for entries. So if you want to send over your info ASAP, you got like 3 minutes until market open. Yeah, I haven't got anything on Discord and I haven't got any emails from you. So I'll um I'll look out for your message, but market's gonna open up shortly. All right, so we got market opening up in about 3 minutes, guys. Again, if you're looking to take the first entry here, first entry is going to be at 6:29. It's going to be against momentum. So looking at the statistics over here based off my algo, it has a 62.50% overall probability of it winning in either direction, whether it's a buy or a sell, as long as you go against momentum. So with that being the case, looking over here at the trade analysis, you can see over here that it has a 70% probability for buys and a 50% probability for sells, right? So with that being the case, you obviously want to look for buys here. Um, Sorry, this thing is not correct. This is supposed to be a buy. I thought I double checked this, but I mean, it wouldn't matter. They're both like pretty high probability in a sense, so it wouldn't make a huge difference. But I'll make some adjustments over here real quick. So if you guys are looking to take this trade here, I mean, either direction kind of has a decent probability of it winning. But good thing here that I double checked it so that we can see. So if that's the case, there's actually not going to be an entry here at 6:29 because it's supposed to be against momentum. The opposite momentum here is actually for a sell. So if you want to take this here, this trade is technically going to line up for a sell. The probabilities here actually, but the probabilities do line up for a buy. So I mean, it's kind of it's going to be up to your guys' preference. Let's go ahead and take a look at the breakout chart over here. So the breakout chart, let me check the 10 minute. The 10 minute is bearish. So if you're looking to take this trade here, it's going to be a sell actually. If you're looking to take the breakout on open, we got market opening up in about 30 seconds. So if you guys want to take this trade here, I mean, feel free. I'm not going to take it, of course, but I'm marking up for you guys. Whether you guys want to use a 50-50 or you guys want to use a 80-40, you guys can take a look at that there. But the trade here is going to be a sell. It's going to be a sell for the algo. It's also going to be a sell for the breakout on open. I'm not taking it. We'll follow it and we'll kind of see where it goes, but I'm not taking the trade here, of course, for the obvious reasons. All right, market is open now. You can see the short right there running. Huge spike right there. It's running down right now. It's on its way down to the downside. I'm not in this position, guys. Just a reminder, not in this position. I'm just following it for you guys there. That's what the setup called for a sell. The probabilities were for a buy though, so I wouldn't really look to take the sell. I'd be looking to take the buy. And you can see here price is pushing up. A reason why I would skip that and take the and not take this trade in general. A lot of choppiness here, of course. Okay, so let me go and update this. That wasn't a trade that I was personally looking to take. It was, like I said, the market open is very manipulated. The thing with the algo trades is you want to avoid the market manipulation, right? You don't really want to go with market manipulation because becomes very unpredictable with your entry. The next entry here that I actually am looking to take is going to be at 635. So I'm updating my report right now. This is going to be with momentum. And we'll be looking for this entry here for me to actually take. So in the past, we used to take the breakout on open. I don't really take that trade anymore. I look for the other entries that have higher probabilities. So we'll see what happens here in a few. Reports updated. So the next entry here, that's one that I'm actually looking to take, is going to be at 635. It's going to be with momentum. You can see over here the probabilities. So I'm going to be aiming for a sell. If it doesn't come up for a sell, then I'm just not going to take this trade here. You can see everything is already identified. So the entry over here at 635, it has a 62.50% probability of it winning. If it goes with momentum. So for example, we have a bullish momentum here, right? So if it doesn't come up with the sell signal, we're going to continue looking for this to push up higher. However, the probabilities here are stacked for a sell. So let's go over here to the trade analysis. I mean, they're not stacked that heavy. So if you look over here, it has a 60% probability of it winning for a buy. Basically, 6 out of the 10 buy positions here have hit full TP. However, for the short positions here, it has a 66.67% probability. So this shows that this trade overall has a 62.50%, but if you should take a sell here, it won 4 out of the 6 trades. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a sell signal to come up. If the sell signal here comes up, it's going to indicate that the entry at 635 is going to be a sell, and I'll be likely looking to take that trade there. So we have a pending sell signal right there. It's starting to line up. I need that sell signal there to close, and I'm going to look for the continuation back to the downside further. You know, if we have that there, great. If we don't have that, then I'm not going to be taking the entry here. Because I already have my trades here predetermined from the night before. Like I already decided last night that if I'm going to take this 635 entry, I'm going to be looking for a sell. So I need a sell signal here in order for me to get into that trade. All right, we got the sell signal right there. So 635 right now, we got about 2 minutes till 635. So I'll be looking for this to close as we get closer to that point. Once we do get to that point, I'll be looking to take that there for a sell entry. ETR is currently at 17, so it's not too bad. Only thing here that I'm a little concerned about is the choppiness of market right now, right? Market is a little bit choppy right now. Um, I'm going to turn off the screener here because I don't really like the screener on the chart. It's kind of in the way. Turn that screener off. Okay, so the 635 and the 636 entry is looking pretty aligned. So again, this over here has a 62.50 probability of it winning either direction, 60% for buys, 66.67 for sells. Looking at the listed trades here, so on the 13th it won, on the 7th it lost, and on the 30th it won. So it won pretty much two out of the three previous entries at 635. Like I said, the thing that I'm most concerned about is the choppiness of market right now, right? We talked about this last week. When the market's choppy, it kind of skews the data a little bit because we typically want markets to be moving. These trades are based off momentum. So looking at this here right now, it's very, very choppy back and forth. So I'm going to watch it here. Again, I try not to incorporate price action, but if the market is too choppy, then obviously it's going to be a time to think twice about the entry. So I'm looking at this candle right here. Again, I'm going to try to stay away from price action, but I'm going to see how this candle here moves. If this candle here spikes back and forth a little too much, I'm going to sit out of this trade. I'm just going to wait for a later one because I want price to actually be moving in a directional way, not back and forth. So see how this candle here is starting to create a very large wick? Yeah, I think for this trade here, guys, I'm going to hold off on this. I'm just going to wait for the next one. I do have a lot of different entries here. So this isn't my only entry for the day. The thing is, I don't like how this here is spiking back and forth, right? We ran into this problem last week where it was just wicking back and forth. And the problem with that is that my stop loss is so tight, right? I have a 20-point stop loss. If this here is to wick up even just a little bit, it's going to stop me out. So what happened a lot of times last week is when price was wicking back and forth like this, it would wick me out and then it would come right back down further. So we got the trade here running. You can see the short position has now showed up on my chart. This is at 635. If you guys are in this position, I'll follow it for you, but I'm not in this position. Like I said, I don't like how price here is chopping up back and forth. Um, I mean, you can see here, it's pretty obvious, right? The market chop. Not to say that this could easily, not push down, but you guys can see how it's chopping back and forth right here. I'm worried that if I take this position, it's going to chop me out and then it's going to come down because that's what happened a lot last week. So, we try to base it off the quantitative data, but you do have to understand when the market conditions are not proper for the algo entries because the algo is based off momentum. If there's no momentum in the market, you're going to get chopped out, right? Of course, I would still want to see this hit though. Like, even though I'm not in this position, I'd still like to see it hit. I'm going to follow up because there's another follow-up entry right here. There's a 635 and then a 636. So if you didn't get in on the first one, there's actually another opportunity right here. So there's two trades running alongside each other now. There's a 635 and there is a 636. Again, see how price is chopping up right here? This is not a good market to be trading in if you're trading directional strategies. See how this, you can see all the wicks pretty much on every candle here. Huge wicks from the top, huge wicks from the bottom. You get screwed in either direction here. So I'm going to wait for the market here to kind of push in a direction. And then once it moves in a direction, I'll start looking to get my entries in. So it's always good to have at least some sort of background in identifying price action and technical analysis so that you understand that this is a choppy market, right? I mean, it's pretty clear. Even if you didn't understand a choppy market, you can just look at the candles and you can say, okay, this is choppy. So you should probably sit out for entries right now. This is another reason why I don't want to automate the strategy completely, right? Because the thing is, like, I have a bunch of entries here, but not all these entries are equal, right? Like, for example, right here, these entries here are very, very tricky, and I'm glad I skipped out on those entries because they would have lost, right? So made a good decision there to skip out on those entries. The next one that I have lined up is at 639. This is not a target entry for me. So I will mark this up right here, but it's not a target entry for me. The next target entry is actually going to be at 646. So we pretty much skipped out on a lot of these bad entries right now. Again, if we don't have anything here within the 6 o'clock hour, it's fine because I have more entries right here at the 7 o'clock hour. So I got the first one at 721, one at 723, 735, 743, 751. So I'm hoping by 7 o'clock, we're going to be out of this chop, right? This here is a pretty messy market. So right now, I would say if you guys are trading directional entries, this is a good time to kind of sit back. Yeah, Paul said talk about Trap Tuesday. Yeah, exactly. Huge, huge Trap Tuesday today. You guys can see a lot of choppiness. Price is pretty much bouncing off the opening price right there. I think what I'll do here is I'll mark up the structures so that you guys can have an idea of like what we're looking at. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna go over here and mark up structure real quick so you guys can have a better understanding of like what to be careful for. So we got a resistance right here. We have some imbalances below. I'm not gonna mark up the imbalance. I think it's fine as is. Do have a support right there. We have some lower level supports right here. Not super, super necessary, but I'm just gonna mark them up anyway so that you guys have an idea of like where these support levels are currently sitting. Let's see, it's gonna be based off that. 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 Again, I'm not using this technical analysis, but I'm just marking up for you guys here specifically. For those of you who are kind of curious to see where like, bounces may possibly happen. We talked about this before. For me, I've been trading technical analysis and price action for a really long time. I've been trading for 12 years now. So I understand technical analysis, I understand price action, but after getting into the quantitative trading space, like basically trading like a quant trader, I started to realize that a lot of this technical analysis is really just confusion. Because you can really analyze it either way, right? There's no right or wrong way to analyze technical analysis. Like there's an easy way to identify this to only look for buys because price is in a bullish trend, but for the reversal traders, it's an easy way to identify this as price at resistance and trading it the other way, right? So it just kind of depends on like what type of technical analysis you're trading. But I found this to be very, very confusing because you're never going to be right, right? You're never going to be 100% right. And with the quantitative data, you already know if you're going to be right or wrong in a sense, or you're going to have probabilities whether you're going to be right or wrong. So for me personally, even though I've been trading technical analysis for years, I've kind of like pushed away from it. I still understand how to analyze the market and review stuff, but for the most part, I'm not really basing my trades off technical analysis anymore. I'm basing it strictly off the data. So all my entries here are already predetermined, and I'm not looking to change that. So looking over here at 639, this is one entry that came up. It's with momentum. So it had a 50% overall probability of it winning. It has an 85.71% probability of it winning for sells. So over here at 639, there was an entry there that was running, basically. I don't know if it's still running. Okay, so the trade right here is still running. You can see it got really close to its target. So if you zoom in a little bit, you see here that price came down very sharply. But because we're in this choppy market, it's having trouble really holding. So right here at 639, that's going to be the entry that I have marked up right here. We're going to follow it. It's not one of my target entries, but it does have a high probability for sells. All right, let's go over here. I'm going to put the data in here just to have an idea of like what we're looking at. Again, the market here is very choppy, so this is a time to kind of sit out of the market. I'm waiting for the market to start to move directional. Once it moves directional, I'll start looking for opportunities for entry. But looking over here, this is a trade that's running from 639. My algo is starting to update right now. You can see it says updating report. You're going to see the trade here come up. It's currently running in profit. So there you go. Short position running from right there. Right at the 639 candle. So we'll see here if this plays out. It's not one of my entries, but it does have high probability with regard to sell specifically. The overall probability here is 50%. So it basically won 8 out of the 16 trades, trading both ways, buys and sells. But looking over here at the trade analysis, you can see here for the sells, it has an 85.71% probability. It's not going to be 100. You can never be 100% most cases. But you can see over here that it won 6 out of the 7 trades. So if I was to take a bet on this trade, obviously I would go with whatever has the highest probability, right? I would take a sell versus a buy here. And it wouldn't matter because the trade here was a sell anyways. So there wouldn't be a buy there to begin with. If this trade loses, it's perfectly fine. What's going to happen here is that this overall probability is going to drop below 50 and it's no longer going to be added to our list, right? This is why it's important that you guys update your list every day because the numbers here are going to change whether it's a win or whether it's a loss, right? The probability is either going to go up or it's going to go down. But again, I'm not in this position here. The next opportunity for me to look at is going to be 646. So another reason there to skip out on that trade because obviously the trade did not play through. It wasn't one of my target entries, so I didn't consider it a high probability trade. It was just more of a confluence. All right, next one that we're lining up over here, and I'm only focusing on entries that I plan to take. The good thing is that the market here is starting to move directional, right? So I think that's the good thing here. Um, my next actual target entry is going to be at 646. So right here, 646, it's going to be against momentum. I'm loading up the report right here so I can show you guys the detailed data. If you guys are new here and you guys are not familiar with the statistics, typically I want the trade to have at least above a 65% probability for it to be like an entry that I'm definitely looking to take. Here it's close to it. Once it loads up, let me just load the data up here. This is against momentum. It's updating the report right now. So if you're going with momentum, it has a low probability, 37, but I'm switching it to against momentum, which is a reversal trade. The thing here that I don't like though, that we keep going back to is the fact that the market here is chopping up. It's still chopping up as you guys can see here. Price was choppy right here, price came back up, and it's just in this big range, right? Which we don't like. We don't want price to be in a range. We want price to be moving directional to the upside, or we want price to be moving directional to the downside. This entry right here at 646, this is going to indicate that we have a 62.50 probability of it winning. It's won 10 out of the 16 trades over the previous 16 trading days, so about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Looking at the trade analysis over here, it has a 77.78% probability of it winning for a sell. It won 7 out of the previous 9 trades, so again, not 100%, but you do have probabilities on your side. And looking at the historical data, it's won 2 out of the recent Tuesdays. So 2 out of 3 recent Tuesdays. If you guys want to take this trade, I mean, feel free to take it. Again, like I said, I don't like trading this chop here, so I'm probably going to wait until the 7 o'clock entries. The thing that I do like is that market here is starting to move directional. So with that being the case, this trade here might play through, but I'm just going to follow it. Again, I'm being very cautious because last week we kind of got caught in the chop, and this candle here is extremely large, right? The ATR is at 25, and this candle here is probably like a 30-point candle. Yeah, it's a 40-point candle right there. So if you guys want to take it, it's a sell. It's a sell entry. I'll follow it for you guys again, but I'm not going to take it because, like I said, I don't want to be caught in this chop. This trade looks like it's actually going to play through. It looks like it's going to be pretty solid reversal pattern right there. This was one of my target entries, but like I said, I'm still kind of sitting back a little bit. This was one that I planned on taking if it wasn't moving so crazy. Um, like what Paul said earlier, it's a classic trap Tuesday today. If you guys are not familiar with how the market moves during the week, Tuesday is always considered trap Tuesday. And this trade here looks like it's playing out perfect. Full TP right there. The algo identified this perfectly. No drawdown. So if you guys caught that, nice work. That was one of the trades that I actually wanted to take today, but because of the choppiness, I sat out on it. But you can see over here, 646, and I'll share in the Discord. So right here, 646, it was against momentum. So if momentum here was bullish, you would take the sell. That's exactly what I called out. I called this out last night at 9 o'clock. And at 62.50% overall probability for a 1 to 2, target entry was for a sell. It won 77.78% of the sells, and it won 2 out of 3 recent Tuesdays. So I said, aim for a sell if you're taking it. The sell was right there, and it played out perfect. So if you guys got that, nice work. If you guys didn't catch that, perfectly fine. You can wait until the later entries like what I'm doing here. Nice, Ben got it. So solid work right there, Ben. Brock said same thing on NQ, very choppy. Been on the sell on open, can't even get a 60-point target. Yeah. It's uh it's uh it's kind of like it's all over the place, right? Not just YM, but even NQ. And Ed is asking how come it wasn't a target entry at 85? So it has to be it's at 85 for a directional move, but not for the overall. right? Because the reason why you want the overall here to be high is to show that it's actually a consistent entry. Like you don't want it to only be for sales. You want it to be winning both ways, right? You want it, this algo to identify, both directions. So all of this stuff comes in order. So the importance come between the overall, and then it goes to the single direction, and then it goes to the consistency of the historical trading data. So that's how I line these up, Ed. Because technically, let's see, you're talking about this 647 entry. For this right here, this typically wouldn't be added to the chart, right? So for this one over here, this trade would actually be left out because it needs to have at least a 60 for it to be listed, and then a 65 for me to actually want to take it, right? To become a target entry. Because here it's a 56 and 87, it's been okay to be added to the chart, right? Because they kind of balance out. The only problem here is that it doesn't align, right? If this was a 65 and this was 85, then for sure that'd be like a guaranteed entry I'd look to take. But because here it's like low for the overall, this shows that this trade hits, but it doesn't hit as much as I would like it to, right? Because I'm only looking for the highest probability type entries. For the rest of 6 o'clock, guys, there's no entries here that are on my target entry list. Um, like I said, right now I think the market is shifting a little bit. Earlier in the month, we had a lot of higher probability trades. So you can see over here, we had trades that were about like 73, 68, like all my target entries right here, like earlier in the month were very high, right? We had an overall 66 right here, overall 73, overall 68, overall 68. You can see from my previous trades, there's a lot of trades here that I didn't really look at because they were below 65. Looking at the trades for today, majority of these aren't, I don't think there's one trade here that's above 65. So a lot of these actually don't fit my criteria, but because we're looking at individual direction, they can kind of balance out a little bit. So that's the reason why I didn't add that to my list specifically because I'm still balancing them out. Next entry, or there's a couple entries which came up. So there's one right here, which was at 648. So there's another one that came up right here at 648, and it was with momentum. So at 648, it was with momentum, 50% probability overall. Win percentage is 70 for sells. This here would have been a buy, so obviously would have been skipped. You can see over here from my statistics. Um, it said aim for a sell. Because it was a buy there, it probably would have been skipped. But it looks like the trade here still would have been playing through. So this is a 649. Yeah, and the trade is pushing up right there. Again, not one that I'd take because I predetermined my entries prior. If it was for a sell, maybe I'd look to take it, but because it was for a buy, I would have skipped that trade there. The next target entry is not until 721. So we got entries here, but they're not meeting my target entry list. All right, I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. A lot of choppiness. So, I mean, guys can see here, it's pretty clear the choppiness of the market. It's kind of it was trying to push up right here, but it looks like it's coming right back down. So it looks like we're in a big range here. I'm hoping like as we get closer to 7 o'clock, it's going to move more directional. So what I'm kind of hoping for is price will either kind of balance out right here and then it'll start pushing up higher, or I'm going to look for it to balance out here and come right back down below, right? I don't care which direction it goes. I just want it to push out of this range. So let's go over here to the main chart or I guess the price action chart. Um, yeah, I mean, price is obviously just kind of going back and forth right here. We do have I guess I can mark this up as a resistance point just for uh just for demonstrational purposes. So you can kind of see right here. I mean, there's not really too much going on, right? Price is kind of just ranging between this area right here. So price was initially ranging down here, broke up, and now it's ranging up here. So like I said earlier, I want price to kind of break out of this area so like we can start looking for entries in a specific direction. Or even I would like it to see it overextend to the upside and then reverse back down into the range. Basically a head and shoulders pattern right there for those of you who trade patterns. Um, there's another entry right here. So 653, it was with momentum. Um, I mean, obviously it's not one that I'd look to take. The probabilities are very low. It's at 56.25 for a 1 to 2. It has a 71.43% for buys. The entry right here didn't come up for a buy, so obviously it's not one I'd look to take, but you can see over here if you did take this trade for a buy, I mean, it would have pushed up. So again, like I said, the probabilities here, you don't have to take them in the direction that I'm looking for, but I already have a direction here that I look to take. So the entry here was actually for a sell, but you can see if you took the buy here, I identified the buys of having a higher probability at a 71.43 probability of it winning for a buy. If this did come up for a buy, this here would have won. But because it didn't come up for a buy, trade would have been skipped because it's with momentum. We had a sell momentum right there. So we'll keep following it. Again, if you guys are new here, I'm not really trading based off price action. If you guys have been on my streams for the past, I guess, 8 years, and I've been trading live for the past 8 years every day, I always traded momentum. Momentum has always been my style of trading. Before I used to use a lot of technical analysis and price action. Now I trade off the quant data. So I just trade off the quantitative data that we have here. Basically, I identify all the entries the night before. I do all the heavy lifting the day before, and then when it comes down to live trading session time, I'd kind of just pick out the trades that I have listed here for the most part. I already have an idea of like what time I want to enter. I have an idea of the probabilities, and I have an idea of the direction. So if it lines up with my time, uh, my probabilities, and my direction, I'll likely take the trade. But if it doesn't, like for example, this trade right here, at 653, I was looking for a buy here, but because it came up for a sell, I obviously didn't look to take it, right? I also look at price action in a sense, not necessarily to look for entries, but to avoid a choppy market. You can see right here, price is pretty much chopping back and forth. This indicates that, okay, my momentum moves here might not play through because price is just going back and forth, right? In order for us to trade momentum, you want to see price move in a directional bias, basically. We'll take a look at the overall technicals again for those of you who are trading technicals. So let's take a look at the main chart, or I guess the trend chart. So looking at this right here, you can see on the why is this chart different? Sorry guys, I'll have to like fix this at some point later. I don't think it's a big deal, but basically what I do is I reset my computer in the morning, so I think it pulled up the wrong chart. Um, Anyways, the 1 minute over here, you can see price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. This indicates that we're in a bullish trend. Looking over here in the 5 minute, same thing. Price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. And same on the 15 minute over here. You can see price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. The pivots are angling up. So this indicates that on the lower time frames, we're in a bullish trend right now, right? Looking over here on the higher time frames, we have the same thing on the 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. You can see price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green and pivots are angling up. So with that being said, pretty much across the board over here, lower time frames and higher time frames, we are in a bullish trend. So if that's the case and you guys are trading technicals, you're probably going to be looking only for buys. Now looking over here at market structure, we also have a bullish bias across the board as well, right? So looking over here on the 1 minute, it's currently bullish. 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, everything here is pretty bullish, right? So if you guys are trading technicals, you're probably looking for buys here. For me personally, I can see here that the market is very, very choppy, right? It's very choppy back and forth. So right now, for me personally, because I'm trading momentum, this is a market to stay out of, right? I'm okay if market is ranging. Like a big range like this is perfectly fine, but this is more of a choppy range. You can see just by looking at the candles, right? So let's compare these candles right here compared to the candles pre-market. See how the market here kind of moves smoothly to the upside with not a lot of wicks, and price here is going back and forth, but not a lot of wicks. Compare it to these current candles, right? Zoom in a little bit. See how these candles have these huge wicks on both sides? These candles are huge. Um, because of these big wicks, this shows that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? There's nobody really in control here. There's no market makers, there's no institutions, there's nobody who's really pushing price up or pushing price down. It's like price goes up, then it comes down, then it goes down, then it goes up. By the candle, not necessarily like a smooth push up. Like for example, if it was a smooth push up, then a smooth push down, that's perfectly fine. But this right here, we're having more of a chop up, chop down, chop up, chop down, etc. So looking at the price action here, I'm not basing my trades off the price action, but this is indicating to me to stay out of the market right now. Right? It's telling me that, okay, the market here does not have much of a bias, doesn't have a direction, there's nobody in control. So right now, sit out of the market because the algo is going to be skewed because this data here is based off a normal market. This isn't considered a normal market. It's just choppy back and forth. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, right now is a good time to possibly just sit out and wait. Yeah, Barack said, I'm sure someone is quietly rocking the golden horse. There should be an update shortly. Yeah, I know Trump might just come out with a post pretty soon, right? About his tariffs on China or something. I mean, something's probably is bound to happen. So here's the problem. The reason why we're in this chop right now is because the government shut down for the most part, right? Typically, like this week right now, this would be like inflation week, right? This is what, the third week of October. See, we tend to have jobless data here. This data is not going to come out because we're in a government shutdown in the US. So usually during these weeks, we have high impact news events that come out, right? We have jobs data, housing data, inflation data, unemployment data, all that stuff. But none of this stuff's coming out. This is all delayed or canceled because we're currently in a government shutdown here in the United States, right? So on Friday, you can see we had CPI. This is actually inflation week. It's supposed to be a very volatile week. But we're not going to have this data because we've been in government shutdown for almost a month now or 2 months. So usually this week would be pretty volatile and directional because, people are betting on the inflation data. But because we're not having inflation data, the market kind of just stays in limbo, right? You can kind of see here from the market, nothing's happening. It's just going back and forth because nobody's pushing price up or nobody's pushing price down. Retail traders are kind of just screwing around in the market right now, which is okay. That's just, how it is. This is very similar to a summer market, right? When the big players aren't in the market. So you just got to be smart about it, guys. You got to understand when to sit out the market. You got to understand when to play in the market. Right now is not a good time to play in the market. Very, very tricky. Very, very unpredictable. This year's probably gonna go sideways until Trump posts something on his Truth Social app. He's gonna put another 100% tariff on China, and China's gonna argue back, or there might be something happening with the war in Israel, right? There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that like people aren't paying attention to, but as soon as there's a news report on it, people are going to react to it. And that's like the main catalyst that we'll be looking for. Because there's no economic news happening. So the only thing we can really look for is like breaking news data, and that stuff happens at random, right? Very random. Like right now in California, there's like this whole debacle about with Vice President Vance and Governor Newsom, right? We have um we have like a lot of elections going on here in our area, so like that stuff's going to affect the market too. But there's nothing that's like set. There's no like for example, like I mentioned, on Friday we could have been like, okay, we're gonna look for volatility because CPI data is coming out. Because this data is not coming out, there's nothing to expect. A lot of the stuff is just at random. Let's check CNBC real quick. See, the thing with CNBC is like there's no breaking news. Typically, there's always breaking news like every day. But because there's nothing happening, like for example, here, this is the most recent breaking news from CNBC. 29 minutes ago on market open, it said stocks open little changed. Stocks open Tuesday session flat, which is exactly what we're experiencing right now, right? It shows right here that nothing is happening in the market. And this is reported by CNBC. If you look at the chart here, it's literally that. Nothing is happening here. So just be smart about your entries, guys. I'll call out entries as they come up. Obviously, I have entries here that are lined up. They're not trades that I'm looking to take, but I will mark them up as they come up. So the next one's going to be at 709. I'll put the statistics over here for that so you guys can kind of see what to expect. There's only one entry that like played out really perfect, which was that 746 intraday, I think. So that over there played out pretty nice. Next entry here is at 709. So 709, it's going to be with momentum. So I got to shift that real quick. Right here, you can see it's at 25 probability for against. Obviously, this is not a reversal move. This is more of a continuation move. So I'm shifting it to with momentum. It's going to shift from 25% to 62.50. Okay, so right here, you can see the overall probability. So looking at the trade here, whoops, this went back to the previous trade. Looking at this trade here at 709, it has a 62.50 probability of it winning overall for the past month. It won 10 out of the 16 trades. Looking over here at the trade analysis. So this is where you start to dig deeper, right? Initially, we look at the overall profitability. If it's above 60, then okay, great. I'm gonna look deeper into it. So it's obviously above 60 there. Now we look at the trade analysis. You can see here that for the buys, it's won 60% of the buys. So 6 out of the 10 buys won, 4 of the 10 buys lost. Looking over here at the sells, it's won 66.67%. So this shows that 4 of the previous 6 sells were wins here. They're pretty balanced, but so depending on which entry comes up, it doesn't really matter. You can take a buy or a sell, but if you want to lean for higher probability, you probably want to aim for the sells here. Looking back at the previous trade, so the last Tuesday was October 13th. It was a win. The Tuesday before that was October 7th. It was, or let me check the stats over here. Yeah, October 7th. The first one was 14th, actually. So 14th right here, it was a win. The 7th right here was a loss. And the 30th here was a loss. So with that being the case, you can see over here in my data, it shows that it won pretty much only one of the recent Tuesdays. So the probability here is decent. It's not super great, but it is decent. But because it lost so many trades in the past, this is not one of my target entries, right? You can see over here, I have target entry listed. This is at 721, but I don't have it listed here. So it's not one that I'm looking to take. It's one that I'm looking at, but not looking to actually take. Like I said, we're trading directly off the quantitative data. We're not really, there's no thinking here, right? We're not really like, oh, I'll take this if this happens, or I'll take this if this happens. I'm like, no, if the trade comes up, I'm not going to take it even if it comes up because the probabilities just don't line up with me, right? If I already made the decision not to take the trade, it's a trade I'm going to see and follow, but it's not one that I'm looking to take. If you guys want to take it, again, the probabilities here, if you do the math, the probabilities are still on your side. So you go with momentum, you have a 62% probability of it winning or 63%. So you have to be okay with it possibly losing, right? Because there's no guarantee, there's no 100%, but you will have the edge on your side. Basically, anything above 50% is going to be your edge, right? You have a 62, so you have about a 12.50% probability edge that it's going to win, but it could still lose on your, it doesn't matter, you could still lose. So if you're okay with that and those probabilities and those numbers work out for you, then great, take the trade. If you're not okay with it, then just wait for the next one because we have another one here that has higher probability. But all right, so we are looking for this next entry here. This is 709, not one that I'm looking to take. The one that I'm actually looking to take is going to be here at 721. The good thing here is we're starting to get better candles, right? Look at these candle sizes. They're nice full candles, not very big wicks. We're getting out of this choppiness. So with that being the case, this here could possibly be a good entry. We have a couple imbalances here. Here, let me go to our main chart. I already have the levels here a little bit marked up. I'm gonna clean this up. There's a support level right here, actually. So we now have a support level right here. Support resistance. You guys can see the chop right there. Price is pushing up. We actually have so there's an imbalance here. I'm not gonna, I guess I could mark it up if you guys wanted to, but it's gonna overlap with the resistance. So there is a imbalance right here. Price is basically breaking and retesting the imbalance. For those of you who are looking at the technicals here. We'll see. So I know a lot of you guys, this is like one of the more popular strategies that a lot of people like to apply. It's, fair value gaps. This is a imbalance. A lot of people like to call these fair value gaps. There's two things that may happen here. Price is either going to break and retest off the fair value gap, or it's going to invalidate it and become an inverse fair value gap, right? This is a reason why I don't like technical analysis because you could really analyze this either way, right? Some people are aiming for the break and retest, and some people are aiming for the failure and reversal the other way. Again, that's like why I don't like technical analysis. It's like I want to know either I'm going to win or I'm going to lose based off the quantitative data. So in the future, I might create. I've been talking to someone else who likes to trade fair value gaps. I think in the future I might create an algo to identify the probabilities for these fair value gaps. The thing is, it's kind of hard because there's so many fair value gaps that come up, right? These imbalances, they show up everywhere. So there's going to be so many different samples to use per day. The thing that I like about momentum is that it's by the minute. So, we already know exactly what time and we know the probabilities. There's no if this, then that, because in a lot of instances, it's got to be one directional. So here's the trade right here at 709, guys. If you guys are looking to take this trade, I'll follow it for you guys. This is the one that I have marked up right here, and the one that's currently on my report. So at 709, it has a probability of 62.50 to move with momentum. We currently have a bullish momentum right here. This is using a 1 to 2 2040 TP stop loss. It has a 60% probability of it winning for buys, 66.67 probability for sells. So either way, buys or sells here can work. It's one of the three recent Tuesdays, and you can really take it in either direction for a buy or a sell. So the trade's running right there. It looks like no drawdown. It's on its way up. Yeah, literally no drawdown on that trade. And it is pushing up now. Again, not a trade that I was looking to take, but it is running up. For those of you who took it, it's looking pretty okay right now. And I'll document these trades as price continues to move around. Let's see. CJ said we're getting away from the session sandwich and towards that liquidity to the top. Hopefully, it stays that way. Yeah, I agree. So it's on its way to target, guys, almost to its full TP right there. I'll put a list over here for the algo entries for the day. So looking again over here, this is the first one at 6 or 7. What time was this entry? This entry was at 6:46. There's another one right here at, oh, well, this isn't really like, I'll mark it up, but it's not one of those entries that I was looking to take because it wasn't one of my target entries. Either way, I'll follow it for you guys here. I don't mind marking it up. So basically the first one right here was at 6:46. This one over here at 7:09. I think this will eventually hit. I think it's ranging back and forth right now, but I think eventually it's going to pull right through. Because this thing it just has consistency in both directions, whether it be a buy or a sell. Not very high, but it's decent. It's like getting close to that 65 threshold. So I think what might happen here is price might kind of bounce around a little bit. Eventually it'll push back up higher. The thing here is that there's no other setups until 721. So there's not really any confluences for it to follow through. You kind of just have to watch it. Ideally, you want to have like a confluence following it. Like you want to have an entry that's running right after it that's going to continue pushing that direction. But it's looking like it's going to hit right there on its way up. It's a few points away from its target, about 10 points. Let's see. Paul said he's been increasing his silver portfolio. Yeah, I think, precious metals, they're all gonna obviously they're gonna be good because there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. As long as there's uncertainty in the market, a lot of the precious metals are gonna keep going up, Paul. So I think you're doing good with your silver. It looks like you're trying to trade it in for platinum. Um, yeah, so the thing with platinum is that it is more rare, but the demand for platinum isn't as strong as like gold, right? Gold is always going to be it's always going to be the leading precious metal. So I think silver and platinum, they're kind of going to be in around the same boat. But gold, of course, is going to be the one to really hold on to. All right, so price is pushing up, almost at its target for a win there. I was about ready to call it for a win. So the algo identified this perfectly. There's no drawdown. Price is kind of just sitting right there. It's about a few points away from its target. We'll keep following it here. This wasn't one of my target entries though, but it did have a decent probability of it winning. I was really close to adding it to my target entries, but I just, it didn't reach my threshold very much. It was just almost there, but it wasn't at that threshold. If this was like a 70% or 80%, then okay, great. I would have added it, but it was just one of those entries that I was like, okay, call that for a win. There we go. So two back-to-back wins right there for the algo. If you guys are following the ones that we are identifying, total for today is two wins, zero losses, plus 4R. All right, so you can see right there, my algo identified that. You can see the long position entered right there on that candle. Long exit right there, right at the target. So again, this is the power of the algo, right? I identified this yesterday. If you guys are on the Discord, so if you guys are not on the Discord, I would highly recommend you guys look at the trades because I list these the night prior. You guys can study these entries before I even, before the market even opens up. I posted this entry last night at 9 o'clock p.m. yesterday. I already called it right there. 709 with momentum, 62.50% probability of it winning for a 1 to 2, 60% for buys, 66% for sells. It won one of the three recent Tuesdays. And I said, if you want to take this, aim for a buy or a sell. It doesn't matter which direction. Came up for a buy there and it won. So nice work. Looks like a couple of you guys here did catch that trade. So congrats to you guys. And we'll keep looking for the next entry here. Hopefully the market stays how it's moving right now. It doesn't go back into this chop. But the next setup here is going to be at 721. 721. So I'm hoping we stay in this directional market. Again, I don't care if it's going up or if it's going down. I just want it to stay away from the chop. That's the main thing that we're looking at here. We're looking for it to stay away from the chop. So for this imbalance right here, you can see it pretty much did exactly what we anticipated, right? Break and retest off the imbalance and it climbed right back up. Like I said, there's two different analyses here. It's either break and retest for a fair value gap, or if you're looking for the inverse, you're looking for it to invalidate it and come down below. It didn't come down below, so obviously the direction that it pushed in was to the upside. But all right, looking back at my entries over here, so the next entry is going to be at 721. I'm going to put the statistics over here. This is going to be against momentum. So this is going to be a reversal trade. Um, well, what I'm expecting right here is I'm looking for price to reach some sort of ceiling, and I'm looking for it to reverse back down. Right, so we're expecting a reversal back to the downside. Um, let's see. Nice. Zach said he stacked and made TP 3 times. So it's a great day for first day back. Yeah, definitely, Zach. Killed it on that. All right, I'm gonna step away and grab some water real quick, guys. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. My entry's coming up right here at 721. I'll cover it right now as it comes. All right, guys, I'm back. So, I was thinking, I think the main identifier to identify if the market's chopping when I want to stay out is really just looking at the wicks on the candles, right? So there's two things. It's either if the wicks are too big or if the candles are too big. Right now, the candles are moving pretty smoothly. The ATR is currently at 22. So if that's the case, we can probably be okay with the entries. But yeah, that's going to be kind of what I'm be looking for my identifiers. So my next entry right here is at 721. It's going to be against momentum, meaning that we're looking for a reversal entry. I'm going to highlight this right here. So 721, against momentum, which is a reversal. It has a 68.75 probability of it winning overall, meaning for buys and sells, this is how much it's won. For a 1 to 2, 40/20. It has a win percentage of 75% for sells, and it won 3 out of the 3 recent Tuesdays. So if I'm looking to take the trade here, I'm going to be looking for a sell. I will be looking for a possible sell here. The only thing that we're going to be looking for is that there's no sell signal which comes up. So that's pretty much what I'll be looking for. We got about a two minute mark until we get to that point. And yeah, I'm just waiting to make sure that there's no sell signal which comes up here. But I'm looking for price to reverse back down. I'm gonna grab a sweater real quick. It's freezing. All right. Man, this weather, if you guys are in California, or I mean, not really just in California, but in a lot of places, it's so bipolar. I was just talking to Kyle yesterday. He's in Jersey, and that guy's like, he's telling me that it's like in the morning, it's like 30 degrees, and then midday, it's like 80. It's super bipolar weather. And in my office here, it's just like consistently at under 70 degrees, so it's freezing. All right, guys, looks like we might have set up here 721. Again, we're looking for a possible sell here as it gets closer to it. Let me look at the statistics again real quick. I mean, the thing here is that it works both ways. It works for a sell and it works for a buy. I'm still thinking about whether I want to take the trade because I don't want to fade this if it's like the momentum's so strong to the upside. Um, let's see, we got 30 seconds until this candle closes. I think I have some more target entries down here actually. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna sit out on this trade right here, guys. I think the momentum here is a little too strong. See how it's pushing up right now? To fade this the other way. So personally, I prefer to take with momentum than against. I'll follow it here with you guys, but like I said, I'm kind of like basing it off like what's happening with the current market so far. I think this trade it does have possibility of it turning around, but I didn't see it start to turn right here. So I think the momentum here is a little too strong to the upside. You can see here it is starting to kind of turn though. Maybe I second guessed this a little too much, but we'll see. So I'm not in this position right here, guys. I was really tempted to take this one. I mean, this was on my list for entries. The problem with this here is that I wasn't like what I mentioned earlier is I like it when it stays flat, and it's a good thing I skipped it because look what happened. Price is still pushing up. The momentum was too strong. And this comes with me being a momentum trader. So I saw the momentum here pushing up, and I was like, okay, I probably don't want to go against momentum here. So good decision on skipping that trade right there because that trade would have lost. Um, So what I was expecting here, whenever I see these against entries, so let's take a look again. So see how these entries over here are against? These indicate that price is likely to reverse at this point. I like to take those types of entries when the probabilities are like very, very offside, right? So right now you can see it shows here that it wins for buys and it wins for sells. So it's not one-sided. If this was like a 20% probability for buys and then an 80% probability for sells, in that situation, I was like, okay, this is probably going to turn. But and this is why I turned to the trade analysis, is that I saw that the buys here actually win pretty often. So if but the buys here win just as much as the sells, it means that this is kind of a toss up. There's no one-sided bias here. If the trade came up for a buy, it would have worked. And you can see our price is starting to reverse now, right? We had another entry right here at 722. So there's actually a second entry right after. And there's another one right here on 723. So it looks like the reversal is actually starting to play out now as we speak. The 721 entry was a little too early. So this one was too early at 721, but now the 722 This one over here is starting to come down, and then the one after it is going to follow. So we have this one right here at 722, and then there's another one right after right here at 723, which is a candle I just closed, and it's also coming down, right? So yeah, for me personally, I would rather go with momentum. I don't really like trading against momentum because obviously we're momentum traders. I don't want to trade against it, but there's going to be entries that do come against it. Like for example, these right here. These are just indicating that price is likely to reverse from this point. Um, but I'm more comfortable with these down here. So we're getting close to it. What I want to see here is this is going to be the initial reversal, and then these are with momentum. So what I want to see here as we get closer to 733 is I'm looking for or 735 actually. I'm looking for there to be a continuation to the downside. So if you guys don't understand how to read this data, basically what this shows you is that at 721, 722, 723, see all these three entries right here? They all say against. This indicates that this is where it's going to hit a ceiling. So right now it's currently starting to hit a ceiling right here and it's going to consolidate. And then we're expecting price to turn the other way. So once it gets closer to 735, you can see these are with momentum, right? This indicates that the reversal happens right here. And then down here, price continues. So I would like to get in where price continues versus where the reversal happens, because when you're trading with the reversal, you're kind of going against momentum. So momentum was already pushing up, as you can see over here. And this isn't using price action. This is, for the most part, using the data here. The data shows that from basically, you can see over here from 646 or 647 until 709. So between this whole period here, basically a 20 to 40 minute period, it shows that price is going one direction, right? Because it says with momentum. Then at 721, it shows that this is now against. So this indicates that the momentum starts to die down from here and it starts to reverse the other way, which is what's happening right now, right? Let me just clean this up a little bit. So again, see right here, 647 to 653, that is going to be right here, right? This area. See how momentum pushed up between that time period? So momentum went up, and then the data over here shows that the reversal happens right here at 721 to 723. So see how the reversal is starting to come down? It's starting to come right back down. Now at 735, this is with momentum. So this is showing that price reverses from here, and then from here, it's going to come back down even lower. So I'm going off the quantitative data here to identify, okay, where's the reversals happening? Where's the continuations happening? The problem with trading reversals here is that you might be a little too early, right? The first entry here I can see at 721, this was too early, right? 722 is spot on. So like the first one was too early, the second one was spot on, and then now price is starting to turn the other way. So once you guys are able to kind of read the quantitative data here, you can kind of anticipate without looking at price action. Like for example, I don't have anything else on the chart. I'm just kind of basing what the data shows me here. It shows me that it goes with momentum, then it reverses here, and then it continues here. And if you're looking at price action, that kind of shows you a pattern here, right? Because initially it pushes up, then at this point it starts to turn the other way. And then at this part over here, it's going to full on reverse right back down. So it's kind of like a head and shoulders pattern, except we're using the data here to identify um, where price tends to turn. So, all right, I am waiting for this here to confirm. Next opportunity for entry is going to be at 733, but it's not one of my target entries. I mean, this could possibly hit, but yeah, it's tricky because the probabilities here are mainly for buys, it looks like. So what I'm looking for here actually is I'm looking for a turn back up. Because these over here are for buys, what I'm actually looking for is I'm looking for a sell signal here and then a buy signal for it to correct back up higher. So instead of that initial pattern that we identified, right, we were looking for price to come back down lower. I'm looking for this to actually shift right back up. So basically an inverted head and shoulders. But it doesn't have to shift back up. Let me go back to that 735. Let me put the data here. So this is where you kind of go into a deeper analysis. You'll initially have like the overview. This is going to be with momentum. So you have the initial overview, But then I want to see how often do the buys win here, right? How often? Because now I'm looking for this here to actually shift right back up. Looking for it to go down and then shift back up. Okay, this is at 7:35. I have the data right here set in 7:35 with momentum. This gives me a 62.50 probability of it winning. It won 10 out of the 16 previous trades. Now looking over here at trade analysis. Yeah, so it has a 70% probability over here of it hitting for buys. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have a horrible win rate for the sells. It shows that it won 3 out of the 6 previous sells, but for the longs here for buys, it won 7 out of the previous 10. So while it's not horrible, it's also not super great. But we'll kind of see where this ends up going. Sam over here said 47.56 potential buy. 47.56. Okay, cool. So Sam over here is actually looking for the bounce. He's looking for the bounce, and I'm hoping this bounce here plays out for you, Sam, because if the buy here does work out, it's going to line up with my entry at 7:35, right? Because I preferably I'd like to take this for a buy. So here's the initial flip. The initial flip could happen at, I mean, the initial flip already happened. We're looking for that buy signal to come up before 7:33. 7:33 is the first initial push to the upside. The follow-up is going to be right here at 7:35. So 7:35, 43, 7:51. All right, so I'm looking for a buy signal here to come up. Volatility is a little low, but looking for that buy signal there. All right, I guess I got to add this one to the list. This was at 7:22. I'm just identifying these entries that I was like looking to maybe take, but obviously I haven't taken any entries for today so far. So none of these are counting towards results. They're just trades that we're identifying. I'm looking for that buy signal though. I'm hoping the buy signal does come up because I mean, I already called this for a buy, so I need it to be a buy right here at 7:35. It's giving me my first target entry. If we don't get these buys here at 7:35, it's perfectly fine. I have until 7:51. The 7:51 is actually going to be a lot higher probability on these here. Nice. Sam got his full TP for 50 points, 15 points, and then he took a stop loss earlier, so we got out at break even. It's all good, Sam. Yeah, so Sam's trying to catch these sweeps here, which are going to swing back up. That's the problem with like not just the sweeps, but with like I think like my earlier entries here kind of line up with your sweeps, Sam. And you already know the issue. Sometimes you get in a little too early, right? It keeps dropping and then it sweeps right after. That's why for me, I like to wait for the confirmation. So again, right here, I'm looking for this here to kind of flatten out a little bit and then just flip right back up. This over here. All right, first setup right here is going to be at 7:33. It's not one that I'm looking to take, but um, and I don't even think it's going to come up proper because I was looking to take it for a buy. It's actually coming up for a sell. So we're at the 7:33 candle here. It's actually going to be a sell, so it doesn't line up with what I was looking for. I was looking for it to aim for a buy. Next setup at 7:35. One after that, 7:43. And then one after that at 7:51. So basically between this period right here, I'm looking for this to give me a buy signal. I'm looking for this to flip back up. Until I get that flip back up, I'm not looking to get into any of these setups here. Like I need it to flip to an upside before I even bother to look for this here. Yeah, Barack said bear should be done loading. weeks. Been expecting a proper reversal. So yeah, it looks like the reversal there kind of came up temporarily or like partially. Now I'm looking for it to actually come right back up, Rock. Okay, so we have a pending buy signal right here. We got that pending buy signal. I need this buy signal here to close for me to have that entry at 735. If it doesn't come up at that point, then I'm going to wait a little bit longer, but that is what I'm waiting for. We got 36 seconds left here. So this entry here is actually going to line up with a breakout V3 continuation if you guys are familiar with that older strategy. Right? If you have a buy signal here and it's followed by a green candle, that's a breakout V3 continuation. If we don't get an entry right here, then I'll be looking for the next follow-up right here at 743. All right, the buy entry is going to happen after this candle here. So I'm waiting for this candle here to close, and I'll be getting in for a buy right here. This is a 735 setup. 62.50 probability, 70% for buys. It won 3 out of 3 recent Tuesdays, so I'll be looking to get into this one here, guys. 30 seconds left. After I take this entry, I'm going to step away for a second. I got to grab some more. I'm going to go get warmed up a little bit. I'm freezing here in my office. All right, we got 20 seconds left. 15 seconds. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Get into the position right there for a buy.
Order submit. Order.
All right, so let me get the setup right here real quick. All right, so my criteria right here is going to be target has to be at 27.
Fulfilled.
Stop is at 67. Okay, trade's running right there in profit. I guess I can just wait and see. As you can see the trade right there on my chart. I'm up about 400 so far, making its way up. And it's just freezing in my office right now. Fucking freezing right now. I turn off the AC. I was gonna go get another sweater, but I'll just sit here for a little bit. I'm in profit about 6 points right now. It's currently running. Again, this trade has a 62.50 probability of it winning overall, whether it be for a buy or a sell. It has a 70% probability for buys specifically. In profit about 600 right now, 16 points. Again, I'm just watching here. So we have a target up here. So that if price does push up, we have an area for it to reach, right? It's going to be liquidity up here. So yeah, liquidity is sitting right there. That's where my target's at. It's kind of where I'm aiming for it to push up to. The good thing with this here is that we do have confluences, right? We have confluences at 743 and at 751. So this indicates that price is likely to like push right through our target, um, which is, basically what we're waiting for here, of course. So I don't know if this thing should be moved up a little higher. Let me see. I guess a little higher. Okay, so it's supposed to be at 40. It's gonna be at 30 actually. Okay. This is at the 70. All right, I'm 30 points in profit right there. It's pushing up a little higher. I'm kind of just letting it breathe. I'm in profit about 1,000, 120, profit 35 points. Man, I'm just freezing in my office right now. Waiting for this couple more points up. Uh, yeah, it's on its way up right there. It's had to make a little bit of some adjustments there because my entry was I actually got pretty decent entry on this one. Turn on the heater or something. Let's blow it to our target. Well, a few points away, 35 points. God, freaking freezing. Oh, it's way up right there. It's pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Okay. 36 points. Almost there. Volatility is a little low, but we do have confidences to the upside right there. 35, 37. Yeah, almost there. Let's go. It's a few points. It's pushing up to that liquidity, so I'm just gonna obviously wait for it. It's 30. It's kind of like sitting around 35 points in profit. There we go. 35. It gets really close to it, and then it kind of just bounces a little bit. All right, almost there. 1,500 in profit on just this one account. All right, 37. Let's go. Few more. There you go. Full TP, and we out. And we out. And we out. Woo!
Target
Target
filled.
filled. Let's go. Let's go, guys. I fucking waited all day for this. Let's go. All right, let's go. So that intro right there. There's another one coming up. I'm probably gonna sit out of this one because I'm fucking freezing in my office right now. I turn the AC. I mean, turn off the AC. Turn on the freaking air. Okay, I gotta use the restroom like that. All right, boys and girls and everybody, beautiful trade. God, I'm freezing. Still cold. I turned off the AC in my office. Whew, what a trade. What a trade. Look at you guys there. See, so the algo over here, guys, there was no worries about this trade. Like I said, I had probabilities on my side, right? Everything here lined up perfect. My entry at 735. This is why I don't look at price action or technical analysis, guys. There's no need for it, right? Why would I look at price action or technical analysis? I don't care about it. I just go based off the data here. This is all quantitative data here. This is, this is an intro to quant trading. If you guys are interested in quant trading, I run my hedge fund based off quant trading. So if you guys are interested in, and I'll show you guys in a little bit. Um, so if you guys want to participate in my hedge fund, it's Cody Kai Capital. This is the website. If you want me to take the trades for you, and you're probably going to want me to take your trades for you once you see these results so far. Let me text one of my clients. He's like, "Good morning. Is it working?" I was like, "Check out your account, smiley face." Yeah, one of my hedge clients. So yeah, if you guys are interested in me trading your account for the hedge fund, I can do that for you. And you guys will see my profits shortly. Let me go in. So we have another win here. There's another trade coming up right here at 743, guys. I'm probably gonna sit out of it to be honest, because I don't know. I don't like the market today so much. I like that this entry like was the start of it. I think right now it's a little overextended, so I don't really want to keep chasing it. My stats here still show that, the buys here can still win, but we're getting kind of late into the session. The volatility here is starting to slow down. So although I do think it'll win, I'm not really um concerned with forcing a trade right now. So I'll follow it for you guys. I'm probably gonna sit out of it though. Honestly, guys, I'm just really cold right now in my office. I gotta I gotta set the heater on in the morning now because it's just getting way too cold and I can't focus when I'm freezing like this. I'm like shivering. Uh, nice, yeah. So Will said nice trade. Sam says regret not holding it, but happy for you guys. Nadia said nice trade listening as I drive to work today. We'll be live with you guys tomorrow. Definitely, Nadia. We'll see you here. Zach made 1.9K profit, so you made your money's worth on that trade right there, Zach. Nice work. Justin said, banger trade, bro. Thanks, man. And Craig said, hey, what's up, Craig? Good to see you, bro. You're here. Um, yeah, I'm glad to see you here, Craig. It's been a while. I know you're working your regular job, so you're not able to really come on these live sessions as much, but it's good to see you here on the live session. So here goes the intro right here at 7:43, guys. It's still for a buy. If you guys want to take it, it's currently running in profit. This trade is probably going to hit, but I just don't have the focus right now to get into these positions. Um, yeah, I just don't have the focus. My like office is freezing, and I don't want to jump into anything when I'm not fully focused. So, right here, guys, again, we've had a pretty good day so far. So, for today so far, it's an 8-hour day. We had four back-to-back wins right here at 6:46, 7:09, 7:22, 7:35. This is the only one that I took today. Played out perfect. There's another trade here running 7:43 for a buy as well. This will probably play through. The thing that I noticed with a lot of these entries, if there's no drawdown, then it's probably gonna play through. If there's drawdown, you might be in a tight position. Um, I was kind of anticipating this to kind of be a little tricky, um, just from like where price was, right? Because I think price here was overextended, and I think this here might be a little bit of a too early entry. I think like, this is like what happened earlier, right? I said the entry over here is a little too early for the reversal. So obviously, I would like this trade to hit, but it's kind of tricky because it's pushed up a bit, so it's due for retracement. Um, the next entry here is going to be at 7:51. I think this here would be a better entry. You guys can see the probabilities are a lot higher, right? The 743, it has a 56.25 probability of it winning for a 1 to 2. It has a 66.67 probability for buys, so it has a decent probability, but it's not very high. This actually shouldn't even be on my target entry, but it is. So, not to say it's not going to play out. You can see here it is playing out pretty nice, or not pretty nice, but it's playing out just very slowly. I think the 751 would be a better entry though. It has a 62.50% probability of it winning for a 1 to 2. It has an 87.50 probability for sells. So this is where it becomes a little tricky because these are going to be fading each other, right? I'm hoping this trade hits before 751 because if it doesn't, these trades are probably going to fade each other, meaning that they're going to go opposite, which you don't want opposite trades. You want trades to follow through in the same direction. All right, let me screenshot my accounts for the day. Alex probably super excited now because this dude's been trying to get his trades running forever. And finally worked there. Okay, so these are going to be a couple of the accounts. Patricia, yours too. Oh, is Patricia on here? She should be on here. I guess don't check it yet, but yeah, your account did execute as well, Patricia. Yeah, exactly. So Smith said the 751 entry is for a sell. Yeah, I know that's the downside, right? Because it's going to fade the trade. There's currently one running for a buy right here. So if that comes up for a sell at 751, it's not going to be good because it's going to go opposite. I'm hoping this here hits before then. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for this tier to hit and then, go the other way. And then we have Alad over here. Alad said 43, he made 43,000 in real money. Or no, so 43,000, 4,300, sorry. 4,300. Nice work, Alad. It'll be 43,000 soon once you once you stack up. But nice work, Alad. Looks like you made your money's worth too, right? Definitely made your money's worth on that one. Drew said the win rate is crazy when only a 33% win rate is needed to break even, going 1 to 2. Yeah, exactly, Drew. So like if you guys wanted to take every single entry here, you could technically take every single entry. Like if you want to do it with a very small contract size, like one or two contracts, you can take every single entry. And the odds are you're probably going to make profit because, like Drew said, you only need a 33% win rate to be profitable. So all of these trades here that I identify, they have to have at least 60% or 65, right? 60% to be on my list, 65 for it to be one that I actually decide to take. So if you take every single entry that the algo provides, yes, you'll make profit long term. But do you really want to take that many trades, right? It just depends on the person. Do you want to take every single trade or do you want to just take the higher probability ones? So it just kind of depends on the person. For me personally, I don't like taking that many trades because I don't like losing. Um, if you guys have traded me for a while, win rate means a lot to me personally. I know it shouldn't mean a lot to me, but for me, I don't like losing. I can't go on a losing streak of like three or four or five back-to-back losses because then that'll just mess with my psychology. For me, I'd rather focus on the higher quality trades and just focus on those specifically. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead over here and I should probably just mark up a win over here for 43 as well, huh? Not going to do that, but yeah, that the uh the setup there was pretty nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a screenshot of my chart. That's going to be posted on us. So here's my first trade for the week actually. Oh, that's about to hit. It's about to hit. I got to add it to my wins. 743. So like I said, guys, this trade was good, but I just sat out of it. Damn, that's a nice win right there. Another win. Back to back, and then probably another win right here on the 751. So we're at 5 wins today, guys. It's been a crazy week. I mean, yesterday was seven back-to-back wins. Today was five back-to-back wins. It's a 10-hour day today. Jeez, it's crazy. It's crazy. This freaking algos is crazy. Yeah, for those of you who have access to my algo, I mean, I'm sure you guys are super happy right now because this is like proving it's uh it's like the proof of concept is there, right? The algo is obviously really good and it's obviously consistent. So 10-hour day today, five back-to-back wins. There's another one coming up right here at 751. It is target entry for a sell. So I mean, I don't know if you guys want to take that, but if you guys want to take it, the trade here is actually going to be a buy. Here, let's see what the numbers look like for a buy here. Or did I screenshot this? Second. Okay, let's screenshot this real quick. Let me put the data over here for 751. I want to see what the win percentage is for buy. I'm pretty sure it's good. It's probably not horrible because it has an overall 62%. So I'm thinking the buys are going to be about like maybe 60% probability of it winning. All right, it's updating the report. This candle's going to close in about 10 seconds. It's not super great. Okay, so the bias here, it has a 37.50%. So basically won three out of the previous eight trades. The buy here is going to be very tricky. I wouldn't recommend taking it. If you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free again. This is your account, guys. Do whatever you want. But it has a 37% probability of it winning for a buy. So I personally would probably sit out of it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lose, but your odds are 37%. The odds are mainly going to lean towards a sell. But if you guys want to take it, feel free. I will mark it up for you guys here. Of course, I will never fade your trade. I'm just giving you guys, both sides of the coin. All right, so trade's running right there. It's actually in profit, looking pretty decent so far. It's looking good actually. It's no drawdown. It's pushing up. But okay, so let me go and post this real quick in the Discord. These are the trades over here. Oh, then you're good. So, Zach, is this Zach? No one reckon knows you. Your name is Sean Spencer on the thing. Yeah, it looks like you're part of the premium. So Zoom link under your premium channel on the left side. Make sure you have show all channels enabled in your settings. Okay, cool. So you're right there. Team profits right here. We got Emily. Emily locked in 2,000 off that trade. Nice work, Emily. Or Emily. So I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yes, 2,333 off that buy that we took earlier. Amazing work right there. And I will post my profits over here as well. Let's see. So, um, man, man, I didn't post the freaking thing yesterday. I should have posted it yesterday. All the wins. So the trade's still running right there at 751, guys. But let me go ahead and put, oops, dang, that one's about to hit. It is about to hit. It's a few points away from its target. If you guys took that 751, I really wanted to take this entry here. Like this is the one that I actually was looking to take, but it didn't come up for itself. So, I mean, I wouldn't have taken it. So 646, the next entry was at 709. I'm just putting the times here so that you guys can, and if you want to follow it, of course. 709, 722, full TP right there, guys, on that one. Man, this algo is every day this algo never ceases to amaze me. Another win right there off the algo. Wasn't a high probability trade, but it was still, you still had probability there. Oh gosh, okay, Zach. You can send me your information later and we can get you sorted out. But yeah, we're on a crazy win streak this week so far, guys. Yesterday was seven back-to-back wins. Today was five back-to-back wins. Um, and then I will post a screenshot of my profits. I'm really hoping this hits. I feel like every day it's a new thing, right? It just never ceases to really to amaze us that this thing is that accurate. But so here's the thing, guys, with the algo is not automated, right? You still have to do the work to identify what's high probability, what's not. But if you're able to really, and it's not that much work, really, it's like it might take you an hour to do it. But if you do it properly in full TP right there, damn. Okay, six back-to-back wins. Oh, what a week, guys. This is a pretty crazy week for the algo. Six wins. Damn, that's crazy. It's just like yesterday. 12 R for the day. Man, if you guys don't have access to this algo, you guys missed out, honestly. Like everybody here is killing it with the algo right now. Um, so again, if you guys are part of the group or you guys have been part of the group and you guys want access to this algo, um, I think today I'm for sure going to be bumping up the price for this because this thing is way too powerful. I don't want to share this with. I'm actually going to bump the price right now as we speak. So if you guys want access to this algo, you guys can, but it's going to cost you more because I'm not. You guys better run to the website now. Emily. Okay, Emily. Perfect. Yeah, incredible, right? Yeah, Ben said incredible. The algo is like insanely accurate. Like you literally make your money back with like one trade. A lot over here made 4,500 with one trade. Um, Emily over here made 1,000 something. So for those of you who already have access to the algo, you guys are perfectly fine. Don't worry. Nothing's gonna change. This is just for new people. All right, so let's see. We're gonna bump this up. Fuck, I can't bump it up. I can't bump it up. I have to add a new pricing plan. So if you guys want access to the algo, I mean, you guys have a little window right now. I'm gonna have to go through and I'm either gonna shut it down where people can't sign up or it's just gonna get bumped up. Because the thing is, we don't want to share this with everybody, right? There's about how many people are using the algo right now? Let's see. We have 38 people using the algo, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind sharing with like 30 people or even 100 people, right? That's perfectly fine. But once we go past that number and we have too many people using it, it's not going to be exclusive anymore, right? We want this to be exclusive because I would love to see this happen every single day. Wouldn't this be nice? 12-hour days every single day. That'd be crazy. But anyways, here are my profits. So I just posted them up in the Discord. So look at this, guys. Crazy. So if you guys want to be part of the hedge fund and you guys want me to trade for you, you guys can sign up for access to the hedge fund. You don't have to do anything. You just open an account with NinjaTrader, you fund it with the minimum margin, and then you pay a service fee at the end of each month. And basically, your account could be one of these accounts you're locking in profit. Like you don't have to do anything. Everything's hands free. I am registered, so if you guys are new here, I do have a hedge fund which is registered with the NFA and CFTC, so everything is regulated. Have oversight and whatnot. Um, yeah, it's not like I'm not one of those people on Instagram selling you like a service that I'm not supposed to be selling you, right? I'm registered as a professional trader, so um, this over here is if you want to be one of these accounts, you can sign up. You don't have to do anything. You just give me your account information. I trade for your accounts, and then you just pay a very small service fee at that uh, on a monthly basis. So I'm gonna have to bump up the hedge fund prices as well because it's crazy how much money you guys are gonna be making, with the hedge fund, and I'm only charging like less than 10% for the split. So it's more like a 90-10 split. But anyways, those are my profits for the day. I'll just copy this over real quick so you guys can see over here. And these aren't even all my accounts. This is barely a portion of them because we have like about 50 new hedge fund clients they're not even listed on here because they haven't started yet. But yeah, you're gonna see my list. I have basically so these are all the accounts that I'm trading. There's basically gonna be another stack of these here, basically right here, because I have another 50 accounts that I'm gonna be adding onto here. That's gonna be crazy, guys. I'm like, here, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm not done yet. I'm gonna go on TraderSync and I'm gonna update my trades. I'm like curious to see like where my profits are now because before, yeah, I'm pretty curious because before it was like I was making like maybe 30 or 40 per trade, but because I have more clients now, it's gonna be even double that. See, the only downside for this though is that I have to log into everybody's account, so it's gonna take a while for me to get TraderSync updated. I think I'll do the complete TraderSync maybe once a month, but I'll upload these positions, as of now. So great day so far, guys. If you guys have profits to post up, anything to share, feel free to share it. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with our trading for the day. Damn, that is crazy. That is crazy. Lisa is asking, Sean, how can I set up an account for the hedge fund? So if you want to set up an account with the hedge fund, Lisa, just go to the website, and I'll put the website over here. I'll send it to you. Just go to the website, and then once you go to the website, click on this right here. It says interested in investing. Click here for the investor interest form. Once you click on that, the form will come up, and then you'll put your information here. Once you put your information, I'm going to send this information to the regulators, and they're going to give me the okay if I can trade for you. Once they give me the okay, then we'll set up your account, and then from there we will we'll go forward. Basically, if you want to get the head start, fill out this form and then go to NinjaTrader, open an account with NinjaTrader because it takes a couple days for your account to get processed. And then you'll need a minimum of 10,000 to cover margin. And you're not going to risk the full 10,000. You can risk as little as $100. You can risk more. It's just really up to you how much you want to risk, but you just need 10,000 in the account to cover margin. You don't need all the 10,000, but I'd say 10,000 because I want you to cover the margin completely. Um, Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Fill out the form. I'll send your information to the regulators. They give me the okay. You set up the account with NinjaTrader. I link your account to mine, and basically your account will be one of these here. So every day at 8 o'clock, you just pull up your NinjaTrader. You see how much profit you made for the day, and that's about it. You get to keep all your profits. You just pay a monthly service fee, but you get to keep all your profits. So for example, here, like Ali, this guy locked in about 2,000 for the day. He's basically made his fee already. He's going to pay me for the month, and everything on top of that is extra profit. It's a good gig, guys. I mean, honestly, it's a good gig because I'm the one that's kind of getting screwed. I talked to Kyle about this yesterday, and he's like, "Bro, why are you charging so little?" And I'm like, "Because right now I'm building my clientele, right? I want to build my clientele for the hedge fund. Basically, my main goal for the hedge fund for the next 2 to 3 months is to make everybody within the hedge fund as much profit as possible, right? Because the more profit I make you, the more likely you are to refer me to your friends and family, right? This business is through word of mouth. It's all through referral system. So the more money I make you, obviously you're going to tell your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousin, oh, hey, I know this guy, Sean. He knows how to trade. He's been trading for a while. If you want to invest with him, it's another source of income. So then I sign up these other people, and then now I get more in monthly service fees, right? The service fee is dirt cheap right now. It's 300 bucks, right? 300 bucks. Like you pay 300 bucks and you make it 2000, that's a pretty good investment. Um, and you don't have to pay anything else. You pay for that for the month and you're good for the whole month. And then if you want to increase, obviously the cost will go up a little more. But yeah, I'm basically charging dirt cheap right now for the hedge fund. Eventually, like over the next couple months, once I pick up and I have enough clientele, then the hedge fund price is going to go up, right? The monthly service fee is not going to be 300 anymore. It's going to go up to like maybe 400 or 500. It wouldn't really matter because you're still going to make profit, but the cost of the service is going to go up. So if you guys want access to the hedge fund and you want to be a client of mine or I trade for you, then go to the website now, fill out the form, lock in that lower rate, and get started. Otherwise, you're going to be like everyone else. The ship sailed at that point. Don't message me like a month later and say, "Hey, Sean, I want that 300 service fee." And I'm like, "Oh, well, too bad. It's at 600 now," which wouldn't matter. Again, the service fee is going to make sense. You guys are still going to make profit, but the service fee is going to be a little bit higher because obviously I got to get my worth for trading your guys' account. But all right, let me see if there's any other questions here. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to, okay, Moxie. I got you. Okay, Maxi. Okay, good to know. I figured it was you that was there. Um, but yeah, you're already in here, so you're good. We got some more team profits here. So we got Rev. Rev locked in 1,400 today. Nice work, Rev. We got PFT over here locked in. He's 82.5% passing his eval. Okay, nice. So maybe a couple more days over here, PFT, and he's gonna pass his eval for 300K. And then we have Jonathan over here. He locked in 971 for the day off that trade. So great work, guys. I'm glad and I'm happy to see a lot of you guys here locking in profit. Here's Jarrell. Jarrell's on fire today. Or this week, actually. He locked in basically 5,000 total for the day. And yesterday he locked in, I think, how much did you lock in yesterday, Jarrell? About 10,000 almost. So he's up like almost 15,000 or even more than 15,000 for the week. So great work right there, Dre. You made your money's worth as well on that. But yeah, guys, 8:06 right now. Let me see if all right, my trader sync is still updating. Okay, looks like we're good. I'm gonna update with one more account. Yeah, I'm like super curious to see what my total profits are for the damn, this thing is still climbing up. I wish I pulled more data here for the algo for 8 o'clock so we can kind of see where the profits are at. Here, let me see. I can actually run it right now. So let's do from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Or let's just do till 8:30. I'm just curious to see what the probabilities are looking like because it's probably a bunch of buys here, probably with momentum. You guys are going to see my screen over here come up for the algo. There we go. So right here at 10:09, we have an entry actually coming up right now. It's going to be with momentum. So we have another high probability trade coming up right here in about a minute. I'm not going to take it, but if you guys want to take it, feel free. This is going to be, I'll put up the statistics right here as we wait for my trader sync to finish updating. It shouldn't take that long because I'm uploading my personal account right now. Toki, yes, so Toki said, or Toki, sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name. She signed up. Yeah, I just talked to Toki yesterday, went over the details, and it's a good deal. It's a good deal for for what you guys are getting with the hedge fund. The thing with the hedge fund, guys, is that it's typically not available to like the average investor, right? You need about like 6 figures to invest in a hedge fund. I'm making it accessible to like the average person. Like for most people, they can't even afford 10,000. But given, other hedge funds are like 100,000, it's almost impossible for a normal person to invest in a fund like that. Um, all right, my trader sync is updating, almost there. I don't know why it takes so long. Okay, I think what I'll do here is while it's updating, I'll start updating my. Okay, anyways, if you guys want to take the trade here at 809, it's going to be for a buy. It's not going to be very strong, guys. So I'm looking over here at the statistics. The um the statistics are actually not as good as it seems. Yeah, it's actually a 56.25% probability, and for buys here, it's only a 50%. So if you guys want to take it at your own risk. I don't think it's like super, super great, but I do think it's, it's what I would consider and what I would call an okay entry. Just okay. Not great, just okay. All right, I got a couple of things here to update real quick. We got Martha over here. She locked in 959 for the day. Nice work, Martha. Great, great work right there. Yeah, you guys did amazing. So Martha locked in 960, Jarell locked in 5,000, Rev locked in 1,400, Elad locked in 4,500, Jonathan locked in about 1,000. Um, PFT locked in pretty good profit. Not, no, we don't know the exact number. And Emily over here locked in 2,333. And you guys killed it. You guys did amazing today. Rashida's asking what's the minimum. It's 10,000 to cover the margin. Lila over here, Lila, you're on fire too. We talked about Lila yesterday killing it. She again is on a nice win streak. So here's Lila's profit. She locked in 1,110. Great work, Lila. Yesterday she locked in 1,987. The day before that she locked in 1,124. Day before that 1,500. So Lila's been on fire every day. She's been killing it with these profits so far. All right, let me check my trader sync one more time. All right, gotta do a couple updates over here real quick. I'm starting to get really annoyed with trader sync, but I gotta deal with it. The problem with trader sync that I've been running into lately, guys, is that it keeps doubling up the the um the trades that get documented, which is super annoying because then I have to go in and I have to edit it, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why it does this, but it's been doubling up the positions lately. So I have to go back and have to refresh it a couple times and then I have to like unlink certain accounts. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's gonna be a lot more work on my end, but I'm glad that it's not. So I'm just gonna update this real quick. Overall, TraderSync is a good platform though for journaling. I can't complain about it too much. Just a little bit. Like for example, on this one day, I don't know how it identified losses, but I took no losses last Friday, so it kind of threw me off. Like, why does it show up on here? I think it's categorizing the days, which is all right, I guess. I mean, it happens sometimes, but it's just a hassle. I also want to see if I'm getting closer to my target. If you guys remember, my target for this year was to hit 1 million in profit. I think I might be really close to it. I just need like one more trading day or one more trade to reach that goal. So. See in a few. If you guys have any questions, hop into the chat. I'm still kind of in the background over here reorganizing my trader sync. So I can answer questions if you guys do have any. All right, I think we're almost done. Let's see, I just want to make sure this is good. Yeah, so for today so far, it looks like I locked in. Uh, I feel like it didn't document all my trades, but I think we're good. But let me just finish this last one real quick. Man, it's crazy. Like I'm basically going through the list and it shows that I took like 400 trades. There's no way I took 400 trades on that day. So I'm basically just reorganizing it to only show. It doesn't double show the accounts because then it just doesn't, the numbers don't add up properly. Okay, so looks like we are good. Changes year to date. Oh man, I'm so close, guys. I'm so close to my goal of 1 mil. You guys will see right now. Okay, so let me go and drag this back over. Okay, so here are my statistics for October so far. You guys can see we've had a pretty amazing month so far. These are my trades for the day. So I took, this is only accounting for a certain amount of my accounts. So I locked in basically 41,455. This doesn't account for the hedge fund clients because I have to log into their accounts individually to add them to this list. I'm going to do that probably on a monthly basis, not every day, but on a monthly basis, I'll do that. But yeah, those are my profits for the day. For the week, obviously that I'm only taking one trade for this week, so that's where I'm at. For the month, I'm currently at 369,275 overall profit for October. We've had a pretty amazing month. These days were also winning days for September. So, I mean, if we were to add that in, it'd be pretty heavy for October so far. And then for the overview, these are all of my trades for the year so far. So you guys can see I kind of went through a couple slumps here, but this is just part of the game, right? This is how trading works. You're not always going to be very on the winning side. You're going to have to like bounce back when you do go down a downwards trend like I did right here in September. So for the year so far, I'm currently at 984,930 gross. My goal is to make 1 million for this year, so I'm almost there. I just need another trade, I think, and I should be there. My win ratio for this whole year is at 63.75, so this is pretty good. You know, we went between a 1-to-1 risk reward to now a 1-to-2. So basically anything above 33.33 is going to be profitability. My profit factor, I'm basically doing a 1-to-2, so it's closer to the two profit factor. And these are pretty much my overall stats. So we're doing pretty good overall. Um, and I'm hoping we get to that goal by tomorrow. Hopefully, I just need one more trade tomorrow, and we'll hit that goal. So this trade over here from earlier is still running, guys. If you guys took this trade at 10:09, this trade is currently running, still in profit. Like I said, this thing is running super slow, but it is still running nonetheless. Um, but yeah, so these are my profits right here. All of these are not included. There's probably like maybe 10 of these accounts that are not included in the overall statistics. But yeah, these are my stats for the year and for the month. It's been a pretty great month. I'm expecting this to get even better as we continue using this algo for the next couple of months. We're going to close out this year pretty strong. I already know it based off the data and the statistics from all these trades that we've been taking. So I'm really excited for what's to happen over the next couple months. For those of you who are over here trading with me, it's a lot of big things coming. But let me go and answer the questions real quick. So Talanji is asking, wait, can we claim the hedge fund ta capital in taxes? Um, I mean, you're gonna get a 1099 Talanji. So if you're trading through a business account, then yes, you can write stuff off and stuff like that. All of your trading expenses. So yes, if you do participate in the hedge fund with a business account, you can, get your business deductions. It's your account, so like you're going to handle your own taxes, right? I don't have control over your account at all. What I'm doing is I'm just trading your account. You keep all the profits. So on those profits, you pay taxes on that. They'll give you a 1099. I don't know where you're located, but depending on where you're located, they'll give you a tax form for your specific country. There'll be 1099 here in the US, which is basically self-employment profits, basically. And then the thing with the futures market is that you get taxed a little differently. So for stocks and like other assets, you get taxed at the short-term capital gains. For futures, you get taxed at the 60/40. right? So you get taxed at a lower rate. 60% is long-term capital gains, 40% is short-term capital gains. So you get to keep more of your profit basically. So that is I mean that's how it would work. I'm not sure. It depends on your country, like what how they handle the taxes, but in the US that's how it's handled. And I'm pretty sure there is an equal, there's an equivalent to wherever country you're located. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. Unless you're in Europe, then it might be a little different. It might be more in your favor actually, um, to trade through a business. So let's see. Sure, Maria. So here's the website. It's kodikaicapital.com. I'll put this link over there as well. Let me scroll down and answer the rest of the questions. So let's see. I got the link right there for you, Maria. Rashida said, how much did Dre start with? Um, I'm not sure who Dre is. Are you still on here, Rashida? Yeah, I'm not sure who Dre is. I don't think I have anybody on the list with Dre who's currently on here. Rashida said, I've been testing the algo. I have two entries at night. It's so good. I'm still testing. Yeah. So Rashida here has been testing it during Asia session, which has been great. Talanji said TraderSync doubles up for me when I'm logged in from two different devices. Yeah, I think that might be the case, Talanji, because I was logged into my laptop and my computer. So I think that's why it's showing double. Arik is asking, does the history show we can make money during the holidays? Yes, you can make money in all types of market conditions as long as there's volatility in the market. So yeah, you can make money during the holidays, but there's going to be certain days where you're going to be a little more careful. Lila said, is it warm enough to bring the princess in? Go get the princess. She's actually with her mom right now, Lila. So unfortunately, I can't bring her in here. I think she's sleeping right now. I can check in a little bit, but I think she is sleeping. Um, yeah, it's Laundry said in the UK, it's set up as an LLC. Yes, exactly. So the same thing. It would be set up as an LLC, just like it is here in the United States. CJ's asking, I took every trade entry except two on my account with one contract, and CJ made 1,100. Going to continue forward testing the algo because this is a game changer. Nice. So CJ over here is actually taking every entry. So maybe in the future you can maybe share those results, CJ. Like in the chat, you can probably share it over here in the premium. So like, just the people who are trading it with us can, or you can even trade it post it under the algo. Maybe post your results of like where you're hitting. It doesn't have to be every day, maybe like every week or every month, just to see what happens when you take every single algo entry. So yeah, amazing work, CJ. CJ is one of the few people here who's taking every single entry. And I'm really curious to see what that yields. If that's the case and it yields a lot of profit, maybe I'll take every entry. Uh, because that's still pretty good overall. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, I don't see any other questions here. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Great day so far, guys. So great day for today, great day for yesterday. And hopefully we'll continue on with this type of market throughout the rest of the week. So, all right, guys, I think that is it. Let me see. Question from Ben. Ben is asking, what is the average contract size for the 10K clients? So it's between 3 and 5, Ben. It's between 3 and 5. Let me go and do the math for you right here. So, and this is going to be based on like your risk appetite, right? Because some people are riskier than others. So if you want to do a three contract, 3 times 5 times 20, you'll be risking 300 to make 600 per trade. If you have a $10,000 account, you're going to be able to float very easily between that. So this is like usually the lowest people start with, three contracts. Um, if you want to bump it up, be a little more risky, you can do five, right? So 5 times 5 times 20. Now you'll be risking 500 to make 1,000. So you basically bump it up quite a bit. And if we have like win streaks, you're gonna be multiplying your account very quickly. So what happens with a lot of people is like once they kind of reach the threshold, like for example, you start at 10,000, and then they make it to like 15 or 20,000, then they start bumping it up even more, right? It's like maybe eight contracts. So at eight contracts, then you're making 800 to make 1,600, right? And you just do the math, it just keeps multiplying. So you're able to scale, Ben. It's really up to your preference, right? If you want to stay very cautious, you can start with three, bump up to five, bump up to eight, or if you want to go straight into five, you can do that. It's going to be really up to your preference. But either way, you have the ability to scale. You don't have to stay low. You don't have to stay high. You can scale up, scale down. It's just really up to your preference. So, all right, guys. I think that is it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm gonna go through all these messages. I've kind of gotten a bunch of messages over here, and then I will kind of see where it goes from there. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, if you guys are interested in participating in the hedge fund, just go to the website, CodyKaiCapital.com. You can go here, fill out your investor interest form, and then I'll send that over to the regulators. If they say it's okay for me to trade your account, I'll do it, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Or one more question from Parker. Parker said, when can funds be withdrawn each month? It's your account, Parker. You can withdraw it whenever you want. I have no control over that. If you do withdraw a lot, you got to let me know because you're going to be under your threshold, but you have full control over your account. It's your account. So if you want to say, for example, I traded your account today and I made you $2,000 and you're like, oh, I want to treat myself to something. You can go withdraw that $2,000 right then and there. Just make sure you have at least 10,000 in the account, right? Don't go below that 10,000 because you're going to eat into your margin. So yeah, again, guys, you have full control over the account. All I'm doing is I'm trading your account and you're paying a service fee. If you want to take your money out and you're like, okay, I need this money for this month. I can't trade for this month. Then you just send me a message and you're like, hey, Sean, I need to pause my account for now. Can you just turn it off for a second? You can turn it off, pull your money out, spend it on whatever you need to. When you get the money back, put it back into the account. You message me, hey, Sean, I'm ready to go again. We'll turn your account back on and then it continues copying. So you have full access to your account. I can't go into your account. I can't take your money. I can't do any of that stuff. It's all yours. All I'm doing is I'm trading on the account, but I have no access to the actual funds. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. Great questions. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit me up. If you guys want to ask again on the next live session, we can have another info session at the end. But I think that covers everything for today. So amazing day, guys. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live